What's going on, good people? My name is Scott. Welcome back to Scentral Hub. Glad to have you join me today. A few weeks back, I went on a venture to the rack stores, and on that video, I provide you with tips and tricks on looking for fragrance in the rack stores, how to find good deals on fragrances. So I went yet again to the rack store here, and I would like you to join me today and see what they had. So if that's something that you're interested in, see if I picked up a fragrance when I was at the rack stores there, please stay tuned. What's going on, good people? Thank you for coming back to Scentral Hub. Let's see what we find in the rack stores here. If we find any hidden gems or if we find anything that was worthwhile purchasing. So let's go along in those rack stores and see what we find. My first stop was heading to tjmaxx. I'm looking in the casing here at tjmaxx. They installed these during the holidays. This was actually a day or 2 days after Christmas. So let's see what they still have on the shelves. They have, a Terre de Hermes. I don't see Terre de Hermes fragrances at TJ's too often. I do actually have that fragrance. It's actually pretty nice. Here's a Gucci Guilty, another one. I don't see Gucci too often at tjmaxx, so they must have had these for the holidays. And a lot of times you'll find certain fragrances for holidays that you don't see during the rest of the year. So there's Stenson. I'm not too familiar with Stenson, but I believe they're an older brand, older company. They've been around a long time. Here is a English Laundry gift set. There, you could try different English laundries. Here's a Mouge Jubilee. I believe that is a clone of Mouge, Amouage Jubilation. So they still have the clones here. Look, as you can see, like I said, the shelves are depleted here after Christmas. You can imagine that a lot of gift giving for fragrances happened during the holidays. So there isn't much really on the shelves there. Here's the women's section at tjmaxx. I'm looking in here. I think this is a clone of Bac Rouge 540, I believe. Let me know if that is correct. I'm not positive on that, but here's a Joe Malone fragrance. I believe it was a sample. Look at this. I found Bond number 9 at tjmaxx. $210. I believe that's a little overpriced. You could probably find it cheaper online. I've only seen Bond number 9s at the rack stores as a whole once before. So that is a rarity to find at tjmaxx and the rest of the rack stores. So I actually had seen that one there, but that price was overpriced, I believe, and from what you can find online. Here's the women's section at tjmaxx. Like I said, you got to check both places, men and women's section, because they mix and match. They have men's and women's in both places sometimes, and I'm not really seeing much here on this rack here. I'm looking down. This was, I believe, a Xerjoff clone of one of their fragrances. Now I ventured to Marshall's, and I'm finding some Tom Ford clones there, and they've been showing up for a while now. Here's some more Mouge Jubilee, which they had at TJ's. Marshall's and TJ's are parent companies. They both work together. They're both under the same roof. So they have a lot of the same fragrances. Here is Bravery Hero. It's a clone of, I believe that is Burberry Hero. So more clones. Here's more clones in the women's section. This is of Tom Ford clones. There's a couple different ones that they've been popping up the last, throughout the year here, really. I've been seeing these clones of these Tom Fords, and I do have a couple of them, and they are pretty nice for the price. Here's a Boss, Hugo Boss, for I believe it was $49.99. It was in the women's section, but I believe that's a men's fragrance, actually, that one there. So, like I said, there's a good example of men's being in the women's section. Now, I was heading to Ross. See what they had there. Banana Republic, I think it's a leather type of fragrance. I do not have that. I have a couple Banana Republics. Here is Coach for men at, what is that? Ross. There's Coach for men. There's a bunch of different fragrances. They have a lot of car brand fragrances at Ross. For car brand fragrances, they have a lot of them. Like, here's an Alfa Romeo fragrance, which is a car company, I believe, originally. There's not much else I'm really seeing on these shelves. Look, you got to check the end caps too. This I found Coach Open Road. I do not have this one, but they do have it there, and I've been seeing it at Burlington's as well. Another one I saw, a Mercedes-Benz cologne they have there. Like I said, they have a lot of, they have celebrity fragrances at Ross a lot of times, and car fragrances, car company fragrances. So I'm not really seeing too much else here. I'm looking on the women's side. Like I said, you gotta check both places, men's and women's. So I'm seeing what else there is. Not much. I'm looking also in the men's grooming section at Ross. You gotta check that section as well, because in Ross there could be fragrances mixed in there as well. And my next stop, I believe my last stop here of the day, was at Ulta, and I'm checking to see what they have. Their prices are higher than the rack stores. They usually are full retail price that you're paying. I'm checking the clearance section here. You gotta check the clearance section at Ulta. You never know what you may find there. Usually, sometimes it's 50% off on clearance. Okay, the next day I went to, or a couple days later, I went to another TjMaxx. Here's more Tom Ford clones. I actually have that one. It's Effin' Fabulous by Tom Ford clone. It's called something Fabulous, but it's a clone of Effin' Fabulous for Tom Ford, and I have it. It's pretty nice. Not sure what that one was there. Taking a look on the shelves here. This TJ's actually had more on the shelves than the last TJ's that I went to a couple days prior. That one is, I believe, that is Layden clone. Here's a Carolina Herrera Bad Boy fragrance. Here's more of the casing at TjMaxx. I'd seen a Coach Platinum there. That's the gray box there, kind of reflective, and I saw H24 there. So that's a Hermes fragrance there, H24. CK Shocks, that's a regular fragrance that you see at the rack stores all the time. There's Coach, women's Coach fragrances. There's Mont Blanc Legend that they have in the case there. Here's a Versace. Like I said, you gotta look in the women's section. Here is the clearance section at TjMaxx. I'm just checking to see if there was anything there. And the last stop I went to was Burlington. They have a lot of fragrances still, even after the holidays. I'm really surprised. They're really doing a great job, Burlington, on stocking up on their fragrances and really doing awesome work with the types of fragrances that they get and what they're getting in, because they're, TJ's and Marshalls, which are usually bigger competitors, have less on the racks than Burlington, so they have a lot here. I'm just taking a look around here, see what they have on the shelving. There's Coach Platinum at Burlington. I saw that at TjMaxx too, and the casing. So that was $39.99 or $49.99, one or the other. So I'm still looking around here in the section. This is the men's and women's section for Burlington. They're all in the same area. Not much else here. Nautica Voyage, you see that all the time in the rack stores. Here is Mont Blanc Explorer. That was a smaller one. I believe that was a 1.7 ounce. Not a bad price on that. I forget what, it might have been $39.99. Not a bad price. Here is yet another clone of Mancera. This one's from Monarch. Look at these two pictures. Look how similar these fragrances look in appearance. These clone houses are killing it right now. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks for coming along. Well, guys, there was our trip to the rack stores. I hope you enjoyed the content today. I hope you maybe found something informative that maybe you didn't know before on these fragrances, or you found a fragrance in this video that maybe you've never seen. But they are out there, these fragrances, and you just have to look in your rack stores and look in the different sections. These fragrances pop up, and sometimes you'll find stuff that are hidden gems, and sometimes you'll find duds. But it's the fun of it, and going there and seeing what you may find at these rack stores, because you never know what you may find. You may find a higher end fragrance, or you may find budget friendly fragrances that you're really interested in trying or picking up. But the one I actually picked up, if you didn't guess it in the video, is by the House of Monarch, Paris. This one is called Gold Intense Oud. If you haven't seen, this one is a clone of Mancera fragrances, and that Mancera fragrance is, I believe it's called Gold Intensive Oud, and this one looks very similar to that one. I mean, you probably wouldn't even notice a big difference if you weren't looking at this closely. You probably wouldn't even tell the difference. But this one ran me $12.99 at Burlington. I've never seen these Monarchs at Burlington. I've seen them at Marshall's, TJ Maxx. In one of my previous video that I had posted on my rackstore venture, there was one I found. It was by Mancera's Red Tobacco, and it was a clone of that. It was actually called Red Tobacco Vanilla, and that looked really similar to the original bottle. And those have been popping up at the rack stores here at TJ Maxx, Marshalls for quite some time now. But I thank you for coming along. I greatly appreciate you stopping by. If you could like, comment, subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated to help support this channel. And also, I wanted to know, have you found any fragrances at these rack stores that maybe you have purchased or have considered purchasing? I'd like to know in the comments below. So again, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.